The people who first lived in this area were called Costanoan Native Americans. In 1542, the Spanish explorer Juan Rodrigo Cabrillo first saw the area. In 1602, the area was named Monterey in honor of the Viceroy of New Spain, which is now Mexico. Monterey was the capital of Alta California for many years. The Custom House was built in 1827 by the Bay and was the first government building in California. This building was used to collect tax money. Because Monterey Bay was used as a port to trade with the British, American, and South American traders, they had a lot of income and needed a building to collect the taxes. Monterey Bay area has lots of marine wildlife like sea otters, sea cucumbers, sea urchins, and birds like cormorants, sandpipers, and falcons. There's fresh seafood such as shrimp, oysters, and clams. Monterey Bay was once a top fishing and whaling port. Fisherman's Wharf was once a wholesale fish market, but now you can fish, sail, and enjoy the sea life among many other activities. We visited a church called San Carlos Borromeo de Monterey. It was completed in 1794 and is still having services. It was very tall and narrow, and I couldn't believe it was over 200 years old. This was the courthouse where the first California Constitution was written when California became a state. In the early 1900s, the street Cannery Lane became lined with canneries. They canned sardines and some other fish, but they mostly canned sardines. This was a huge source of income for Monterey Bay, but then they ran out of sardines. Now the canneries have turned into restaurants, souvenir shops, and cafes. The author John Steinbeck wrote a book called Cannery Row and made Monterey Bay popular. We saw a bunch of statues with John Steinbeck and his friends by the bay. They all had Santa hats on for Christmas. Visiting the aquarium of Monterey Bay was by far my favorite part of the family field trip. It's a very famous aquarium. The cool thing is about it is that they have a living kelp forest, and they pump over 2 million gallons of water fresh from the bay into the tanks of the aquarium. Sometimes small marine life that they didn't place themselves appear in the tanks. The last surviving cannery, called Hovden Cannery, was transformed into the Monterey Bay Aquarium. They promote conservation and education about the ocean and its marine life. The aquarium helps people see what Monterey Bay is really like. So we went to see the actual shoreline of Monterey Bay and got to see some of the creatures in the wild that we saw at the aquarium. The otters were the cutest. The sea otter's skin never gets wet because its fur is too thick. This prevents it from getting too cold while it's living in the cold waters of the bay. This family field trip to Monterey Bay was really fun. I hope to go again someday.